G'day all, welcome back to Frostbite's YOJOE Repro. I'm here today with Shark Eyes, aka it's Joe Noah, bro. It's not.
I know.
I
changed that because that's too close to Joe Kim Noah. So, yeah.
You're bastardizing it.
Well, I just wanted the emphasis to be on trivia.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
You did win. I'm actually surprised you beat out Aaron. I have a feeling part of that, probably half of that, was to do with internet response, but whatever.
We don't blame technology. We don't blame technology in these instances.
No, that's it. It's all the tools at hand. Okay, so we're here today. We're going to go through and do a recap of the YOJOE June Hasbro Pulse Fanstream from really early this morning here in Australia. This will probably be one of 1,000 videos that you'll see today regarding this topic, but whatevs. You didn't stay up for it, obviously.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I finished that bottle of red by the time the stream was over.
I thought, honestly, you were going to have that bottle and then just go to bed. I didn't know you were going to have a bottle before you saw it.
Yep.
I was going to leave it till last, but as soon as we're talking about you actually watched it, man, some of the comments that were happening in that live stream, Jesus Christ.
I, like, when the live stream, before it started, you see the comments just going. So I had a look, and it was just full of basic, stupid, idiotic, lame, ridiculous, dumb, uninformed, retarded comments.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this. I just can't. No. There was people in there touting their channel and asking for this and that, like to drop emojis. It was just fucking lame. So I was just like, nah. I'll just go back to watching this actual stream and commenting on things online like a normal individual.
So yeah, I rewatched it this morning, watched it this morning, and there was one guy, he just, in all caps, just kept saying, fix the Iron Grenadier packaging, they're not Cobra. He just kept saying it. Like it was every couple of screen grabs, just kept saying it in all caps.
Like a dog at a bone, mate. Like a dog at a bone.
I couldn't believe some of the comments.
Oh, man, I can.
One dude was like, where's Miss Piggy? And all I could think was, mate, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
We don't.
You get the people like that who are just filth, like gutter trash, like who are disrespectful, scumbags who make the hobby look bad. So, throw them in the bin. Get in the bin. Get in the bin, you absolute gronks. If you're watching this and you're one of those people, you're an absolute gronk.
I don't know, because as soon as I saw some of these comments, my mind went straight to, mate, don't watch these. If it's upsetting you, don't watch it. And then I thought, nah, they're not dollies, they're trolleys, mate. They're just trolls.
Yeah.
Got nothing better to do.
They're trolls. They're like sad, pathetic, neckbeard, obese, living in their mum's basement, Neanderthal, dumb cunts who just want to get online, and because someone in a toy company hurt their precious sensibilities, oh, I'm so upset. I didn't get the Hooded Cobra Commander. I'm going to leave a nasty comment. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fucking filth.
That actually it brought me down, like watching it, seeing those comments. There were some just honest questions in the comments. There were some positive comments.
Yes.
That's great. Like,
Yep.
it's 2024, people. If you've got mental problems, please go talk to someone about it.
Seek help. Seek help.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, it's not even even worth looking at the comment section, because here we are focusing our time and energy on it. But at the same time, it's moving so quick, and because it's just loaded with crap. Even if you respond to someone with an honest, earnest answer to a question that is honest and earnest, the asked,
Yeah, it's
they
gone.
might not even see it. You're just wasting your time. Honestly, they should just turn the comments off. That's what they should do. Turn it off.
All right. Well, that's done. So let's crack into this. We're going to go through each of the announcements from this morning. I keep wanting to say last night because it really was last night. But yeah, let's get into it. We're going to use Toy Habit's webpage for this. And the reason we're doing that is because he has done an excellent job putting this all together. Good on you guys.
Yep. Shout out to Michael and the Toy Sorceress. Good people who do a good job, exactly like you just said, Lenny. And, Michael, also shared some of my stuff earlier over the course of last week, some of my reviews, and that was lovely of him as well. So, yeah, pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. So we've got these four guys. We're not doing this in announcement order, by the way. So just work with us. We're going to follow Toy Habit's page. So we'll address these four first. And first up is Storm Shadow V2, which was probably the most noticed, talked about, and emotional part of this fan stream. So what do you reckon, Adam?
Okay. I think it looked better in the stream than it looks in the actual photos. With that said, it's not without issue in my humble opinion. I think they jazzed it up to give him a bit more of a samurai look and feel, and I don't think he needed that. Like, he's a ninja. A little bit more of a streamlined approach would have been my preference. And it's just loaded with reuse in terms of the accessories, which lets it down. Again, that's my opinion. I'm sure other people do share it as well. It's just the first thing I noticed. And, when those things jump out at you before you've even seen any commentary online, which is exactly what happened with me, I'm sorry, but I make no apologies. I'm sorry, not sorry, actually. It just... Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I have to put a lid on that for now, because we're gonna get more onto that as we go along. So yeah, I'm not gonna peak too soon, Lenny. But does it look like the V2? Yes, it does. Does it look good when posed with him holding all the kit? I think so. I think it does look good. The fact that he can carry it all is pretty cool. Because I don't recall the V2 O-ring figure being able to store the bow on the backpack, as far as I can recall. He had to carry it. So that's a plus. They've got to give him props for that. Extra hands are cool. We love extra hands. But yeah, I think the scabbard the double scabbard on his belt, I think that looks a bit too sort of cumbersome. And for someone who is going to be climbing at using those claws and whatnot, I don't know, I feel like that would kind of inhibit the figure a little bit. Well, not the figure, the character. But if we're talking reality, and of course we're talking about a fantastical creation here, but I digress. But yeah, look, I don't hate it. I don't love it. Do I want it? Of course. Yeah, it's nice. I'll just say it's nice. Yeah.
So the quote that was used by Lenny and the boys when they introduced this was, "Kitted out, flexible as ninjas should be."
Okay.
I can tell you that figure is definitely kitted out, but
Yep.
you know, a character carrying all that stuff is not flexible as ninjas should be. I don't feel.
Yeah, look, is that just a reference to the articulation? Because in the shots, obviously there's a few more shots that Shooting the Galaxy did where he's like doing the splits and there you go. And posed in different ways, you know. But, you know, it is a ninja figure, so you should kind of expect that kind of articulation, just like we got with Jinx. You know, she was able to...
I don't feel like it's a reference to the articulation. I
Yeah, well,
feel it's more of it's a reference to, with regards to all of the kitting that you're getting with him, he can be used in a flexible way.
In a flexible manner. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it does give him different looks, I suppose. I just that compound bow just shits me. The one that's come with Shadow Tracker and Norgahide previously.
Yeah.
It usually comes warped in the package. Yeah. Yeah. And you just knew that when they did that for... He's right here, actually. When they did that for Old Mate here, you knew it was coming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was telegraphed, basically. And if you look at that, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I can get it. Maybe try this way. It might look a bit better. You can actually see a little bit that the bow is warped. Like, and maybe if I take it off, it might... Bastard thing doesn't want to come out. It's stuck in there. Like, look at that. You know, and that, hopefully they've rectified that with some new production values, but I'm not holding my breath.
Well, they did mention later on in the stream that with the 24 and 25 figures, they're using a new material which is less flexible.
Yeah, so maybe it won't come out bendy. But yeah, it's nice enough. I'm not very jazzed about it. But yeah.
So another quote coming from the boys was that the waist pouches were from the original figure and they are very iconic.
Yeah.
So when I think about that original V2, the vintage, I sure as shit do not think about waist pouches.
Ditto.
The problem with this figure, and many people have said it already, is it looks bulky. It doesn't look like a ninja sailing or gliding through the night. It looks like a bogged down assassin.
Yes. Yep.
So, and they said in the video that the reason that they gave him the ninja skirt was because they gave him the waist pouches, and then it looked too blank between the pouches and the legs.
Right.
So I'm opposite, right? Like the thing I love about that V2 vintage is the simplicity of it all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need this guy bogged down with shit. And maybe if you're going to give him those waist pouches, make it like, the Chewbacca type across the shoulder and chest.
Yeah. Just take me off full screen for a minute, Lenny, and bring up an image where you can see the waist pouches in a good... Yeah, that picture there where he's got the two short swords out. Can you zoom in on that?
No.
Okay.
Make it to there.
Yeah, they're very pronounced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were... Obviously, they are there on the original O-ring figure, but they were never that pronounced.
No, like I said, I can't remember them on the original figure.
Yeah, and that skirt can come off. Did they make mention of that, or am I imagining things?
No, I think it's flappy, but it's perma on there.
Is it?
As far as I know, yeah.
You'd have to detach the figure and boil and pop it to get it off, probably.
Another interesting thing that I noticed was he's got this rope around his chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's also, in the bottom of his backpack, got rope.
Yep.
So you're giving him like 2 massive coils of rope.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is linked to, a mountain setting, but is it really? Because the original V2 in the comics wasn't linked to mountainous settings.
No, he did a lot of urban combat in that.
That's right.
In that outfit. Yeah, and that backpack I think is the one that's coming with the new Night Creeper. So that's reuse as well. Yeah. Everything in there is reuse. Everything. Now I think that rope is that maybe the one that comes from shipwreck and they've just dyed it and that can be slung over his shoulders because I think it might be.
You reckon they're the same? No, they're 2 different things.
Yeah, the rope over, like in the one over is slung over his shoulder. I think that can be taken off. I don't think that's sculpted on.
Okay.
Because if you look at the image, you can see it's moved. Like that one there where he's sitting down. See where it is on the. Look at the digital camo. Look where it is when he's standing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it was necessary.
Mm. The original did have rope slung around it, though, I think.
Yeah,
it did.
And I'm not a fan of the 2 katanas by the right side either.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
But yeah, c'est la vie.
You reckon when they do a retro of that, they'll give him the backpack that comes with Quick Kick?
Mate, I reckon, or I hope when they do a retro of this, they just give him his original backpack.
I don't reckon.
And then just change the colours so that it's black with some red trimming or something.
No, I reckon you'll get the quick pick. Quick pick. For any American viewers, a quick pick is a Tats Lotto ticket, like a lottery ticket. Yeah, with Quick Kick. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when they get around to it. Because they will. They'll get around to it. They'll do it for sure.
So also mentioned was the iconic claws can go on the backpack. The bow and arrows can go on the backpack. And he's been fitted. Let's see if we can see it a bit better. Yeah, this thing here on his left shoulder on this.
Yes.
So they stated that it's Archer's shoulder armor.
Yeah. Yep.
So, if they didn't say that, you probably wouldn't notice that too much, I don't reckon.
No.
Comment of the stream for this component was Surveillance Port saying, loving all the eventual Budo gear on him.
It's so funny you just said that. I was just thinking about the boots and the belt. That's exactly what it screams, eh?
So yeah, when Surveillance said that in the chat, I stopped the video and made sure I typed it down just so I could quote that one.
Yeah, Eric's got his finger on the pulse. That's definitely him.
Do you reckon does that hood come off? They didn't mention that, but it's a separate component, right?
I dare say, yeah.
It's the Arctic Storm Shadow hood.
Yeah, yep. It's the same as the hood that come with the normal Storm Shadow, I'm pretty sure, just been repainted.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I'll probably still buy it.
That's the thing, mate. Like, I'll probably be doing the same. Who am I kidding? You know, like it is Storm Shadow. It is his iconic look. And, you know, it could be also be a case of when you get it in hand, he's one of those figures that you're more impressed with. And that does happen. You know, I'm guilty of that. Yeah. It happened to me with Jinx. When she was first revealed, I was just like, what a steaming pile of meh. And then I got the figure in hand. I was like, this is actually a lot better than I had anticipated. So, you know, that can happen. You got to be honest with yourself. So,
yeah. Don't get me wrong, like the large majority of the classified figures, because I don't collect classified as a primary, like the large majority, I see them, I don't like them, and I don't collect them.
Yeah.
But ones like Jinx, when Night Creeper comes out, Low Light, Shockwave, like those ones, you know, I'm usually just pretty happy, and I just buy them. So... But this one, so when I say I'm not completely happy with it, but I will probably still buy it, that's me saying, well, yes, I do actually want this figure, but it could be better in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's move on to next. And that is Albert Pine. Alpine. So I don't think this guy was the pick of the bunch, but I think he's up there. He's like a 7 out of 10, I reckon, for me. What do you think?
Oh, mate, you're more generous than I am with this one. This one is probably my biggest bone to bear is this figure.
Really?
Yep.
This guy was the reason I was watching the comments a lot, because as soon as they pulled this guy up, there were so many comments just focused on his backpack being missing.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the first thing that I noticed. Again, for me, the first thing I noticed was the face. I didn't like the face sculpt. And then secondly, and here comes that word again, reuse. Out of this world. Everything besides those ice picks is reuse.
Right.
Maybe his jacket is new, but everything else, reuse. I can rattle off everything for you. So, the grapple hook came with Arctic Storm Shadow. That's the actual hook. That hook there, the orange one that goes into the grappling hook gun, that came with the Alley Viper. His other gun came with the Alley Viper. The rope came with Shipwreck. What am I missing? The cap comes, I think, with the upcoming Crazy Legs that comes with the Dragonfly. And the glasses came with Snow Job, I'm pretty sure. So the new things are his jacket, the ice picks, and the harness sort of... they've got like carabiners, and on the back of the figure is a removable pouch that allows him to be seated in vehicles, which is cool, because if that was just a permanent fixed obstruction and he wouldn't be able to sit down, then that's another issue for the figure. So that was well thought out. But the reuse and the fact that that gun barrel is bent in that image on the left is just off the charts. And his face, he looks a bit like a numpty. Like Alpine was a cool looking cat in the cartoon and the comic books. This guy looks like he should be, I don't know. Oh man, I don't want to say something and offend some people.
You know who he looks like, right?
Who?
To me, he looks like a not a great version of Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And it looks like it's hard to tell, but it looks like they've aged him up a little bit, which they've done in the line previously, but I don't think it works on this occasion. And, you know, you talk about the backpack. Well, that was kind of an iconic aspect to the V1 O-ring figure because it was allowed for him to hold the kit, a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But my biggest issue with this is they give him weaponry that we've seen before with other figures, and they don't give him his iconic machine pistol. Like, tooling wise, that is one element that they should have done. Like, cool. Give him the grapple hook with from the Alley Viper. Give him the actual rope and hook and extend the rope, which they did. That comes with the Arctic Storm Shadow. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that if you give me a weapon that is attributed to the character, because that's what was beautiful about the Joe line, is that majority of the figures from 82 to 89 had unique weapons. Sure, there was some reuse before anyone jumps in here to say, well, actually, Adam, but that was early on in the line when they were using mold, and whatnot, because that was when the line was a fledgling line. By 83 to 85 to 86, 87, everything was new. Like, there was no very, very rare any reuse. And this is a line that is 4 years old and has had so much support from the fandom and is kicking ass for Hasbro. It's probably kept them alive in some respects. They own the IP. They don't have to pay any license fees to anyone. And they can't even do this justice. And sure, I sound pissed off because I am a little pissed off because I expect better. When I'm pissed off also for the design team because they're not the ones who's making these calls. So anyone who's angry about this or disappointed, very different things, don't point that blame at like Lenny and Tony and the people that work there with them in that team. That's not their decision. This comes from above. And it comes from Hasbro being tight-fisted and being like, okay, well, we'll give you X amount of money, the budget for the figure, and you can do a new face, and you can have a couple of ice picks. But everything else, you've got to mine from the archives of used parts. That's just shit. It's just shit. I'm sorry, but that's why this figure is a big miss as far as I'm concerned. End of rant.
I am less focused on it, and I just look for the coolness values, which like the hat and the glasses fit. That's cool. The picks are cool. Like, all the equipment works for me. The little butt bag is cool. Him having carabiners is good. That apparently he's got 12 inches of cord.
That's what she said.
Well, you don't want to play with cord. Machine gun removable mag, and an interesting thing from the live stream was apparently his T-shirt has the word Idaho written on it, which is reflecting his hometown.
Correct. Yep.
So, all right, that's why I sort of put it at a 7, just from coolness and the overall generalness of linking back to the V1. I know we're missing a backpack, but it's close. It's coolish. So yeah.
You know what?
It could be a boy.
I look at this figure and I go, thank God for Gridiron Studios, because they've for months and months and months and months and months, they've had an Alpine loadout for people who made their own customs, who are impatient to waiting on this figure, and cannot blame them for going that route, because they just screwed the landing on this one, man, as far as I'm concerned. And obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, Mark and Quaid and the rest of the Gridiron Studios gang will definitely do this figure some justice.
That's just where they're going to succeed, though, right? Because is there ever going to be any Hasbro G.I. Joe figure that doesn't come the way we want it?
I think, yeah, like there's exceptions for sure. You know, like I know I'll touch on this a bit later. You know, we'll circle back to this because I can make a perfect example of what, in terms of an answer to what you just said.
All right.
Yeah. On to the next one.
Let's crack on to the next one, which is the Iron Grenadier. So the quotes coming from the boys were that they looked at different generations of Iron Grenadiers, and in the end, they liked the jacket that came from the Pursuit of Cobra, so they used that. It contains, or the figure contains, intricate skull embroidery, lots of deco, and lots of matte to gloss. And it comes with a saber, a Destro blaster, heavy machine gun, a pistol holstered in the back, and the sash comes off.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you, I haven't checked since I watched the fan stream, but that face mask looks a lot like a Techno Viper.
Yeah, it does a bit, eh?
It's just very Techno Viper-y to me.
Yeah, it gives off those vibes a little bit. Yeah. I think it is different, though. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. Goldhead Steel Brigade figure. Whatever. It doesn't even do much for me. I like that photo of the helmet flinging off his head.
Yeah.
The other one, that one there where he looks like he's stomping on a rock or something like that. It looks like he's about to break out into dance or something. Like I'm not too sure about that pic.
I know we're harking back to the V1s with the sabers. You still think they have a place in these modern day figures?
I
could see like a brigade captain or lieutenant or colonel or someone in charge of a squad of these things having that saber, but every single IG?
I guess it gives you like the ability to play off against other characters with bladed weapons. I guess that's one element of it. And, you know, for ceremonial purposes, it has that element also. But is it necessary? Probably not. But, you know, it is connected to the figure. So people would be in a bit of an uproar if there were no sword. So,
yeah.
And that is the Crimson Guard sword too, I believe.
I quite like these red touches and the gold touches. They look nice and refined.
I think the figure, like when painted up, like we saw in the stream, it looked quite nice. My issue, here we go again, or here I go again. I have other issues with it. I feel like they lent heavily, obviously, into the Pursuit of Cobra and the club figure looks. With a tunic, sort of long tunic, sort of dust jacket, whatever you want, duster or whatever it's called. I don't hate it because that is something obviously that has come with Iron Grenadiers before. I don't know if I don't love it though. I'm a bit on the fence about this one.
Okay.
The grey pants I think are a bit glaring for my liking. You know, that figure traditionally was all black pretty much. And again, that lends to them leaning on the other figures in the line. But again, it's the reuse for me, Lenny. I hate to sound like a broken record, but the reuse of the weapons is just off the charts. And they again steered away from giving him an iconic weapon that come with him, which is that Uzi-inspired weapon.
Yeah.
Which I always loved as one of my favorite accessories in the line. They ditched it. And instead, they gave him the weapons that came with Big Ben, that came with the Action Soldier. And it's just like, come on, guys. Like, come on. They gave him pistol that come with Destro. It's just lazy, Lenny. It's just lazy. Yeah. It's just cheap. It's just yeah. It's just not. It just doesn't hit for me. And again, it's like what I said with Alpine. They could have just given us the Uzi. You know what? Fuck that. If they don't want to give us the Uzi, give us one of the Uzis that come with one of the Snake Eyes figures. At least do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like what they did with the Retro Snow Serpent that we both reviewed. They gave him the FAMAS instead of the AK. Yeah. They could have just done that. Like, just do it. Like, because that's supposed to, and this is not a retro figure, mind you. But if they didn't give the Snow Serpent the AK as the retro, what are they going to do when they retro this? What are they going to give him? You know what I mean? You
mean they didn't give Snow Serpent the AK that Sergeant Slaughter's coming with?
Yeah. And the AK that's coming with the Stinger driver as well. It's like come on, guys.
All right. And just while we're here as well, I feel this group would have been the perfect group to, you know how we have like the Cobra officer and the Cobra trooper? Give us an Iron Grenadier officer and an Iron Grenadier trooper.
Yeah. They could have done it. Yeah.
Because they're not all going into battle together, right? Like there are people leading groups of these.
Yeah, you would
they're
think
not
so.
robots. Yeah.
You think so?
All right. Next is the IG Bat. For that, the quote that was given by the boys were that the colors are what Destro would do with bats. It's noted as having the alternate head, the laser hand, flamethrower hand, the chainsaw. The backpack holds the parts. And I think probably from my point of view, the best part about this figure is that clear plate that they stated will work with any of the bats.
Yep. I think the clear plate is great. That was not supposed to rhyme. Yeah, it's a good look. And, you know, obviously they use the Arctic Bat head for this as well, which gives you another option. I think that my favorite part about that figure is the deco, the paint deco. Like it looks striking in the gold and the black and the red. You know, it's a bat. We never really traditionally had them being, you know, used in other factions, but again, it's repaint, it's repurpose, it's resell. So the money that they'll make from this, because people will of course buy them and they'll buy them in multiples, is like a straight win. Bam, done. You know what I mean? Like there's not really anything that's costing them anything. You know, because all the accessories, you know, the saw, the handgun, everything is reused. And I don't know, I kind of feel like if they were going to do that like they have with the other figures like I've mentioned, they could have, you know, again, sculpt just one simple new attachment. Not a chainsaw. I don't know. Give him like okay, here's an idea. Give him like a long blade because, you know, the Iron Grenadiers come with swords, right? Give him a long blade that is like, you know,
like
longer than a normal sword. Like, you know, don't give him a saw. Like, I'm just spitballing here, Lenny. But you know what annoyed me about this in the stream was when Tony was getting all geeked about like changing the head between the bats and the Iron Grenadiers and stuff. I'm like, okay, you're using kit bashing to sell a repaint. It's like, firstly, no one really does that kind of kit bashing. No one thinks, oh, I'm going to put a robot head on my trooper and be like, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just look. I'm sure his intentions were pure, and I like the guy. I don't know him, of course, but I like the guy. But that was just a bit meh for me. And I like bats. I've got about 8 of the bloody original classified ones, but I don't want this. I don't need it, so I won't buy it. Like it doesn't speak to me in a lot of ways where I'm like, I want it. I don't want it. And I'm sure there will be people like me who will be like, don't need it, don't want it.
Yeah.
But
that's any figure in the series, right?
What's that? Sorry.
That's any figure in the series, right? Like it's all about just buy what you want to buy and
buy what you like. Yeah, I think the thing is that we've had 5 bats now.
Yeah.
Normal, Arctic, Python Patrol. What am I missing? Crimson Bat. It's 4. This one, that's 5. I feel like I'm missing one. It could be 6.
I'm sure we'll see an alley bat coming out in the future.
Oh yeah, like you know what would be cool, and it makes a ton of sense, is a Dreadnought bat where it's all beat to shit and it has because this is where you could give it the chainsaw arm and be like, you know what, that fucking makes sense. Buzz has got a chainsaw, like give him like a big bayonet arm or something like that. That makes sense too. Like
yeah.
And if they could have put some graffiti on it and stuff, I'd buy that because that is different. You know what I mean? Like that is different in a lot of sense. This isn't really different. This is just a bat that looks like an Iron Grenadier outfit. Like,
Yeah, literally that clear plate is the only new thing, right?
Yeah, because the other ones didn't have the clear plate. But I think the gold, the gold looks great. Like I think as I said, the Arctic bat head suits it beautifully. It does make it pop. But Destro is a weapons and arms manufacturer and supplier. What reflects that here? They're all Cobra accessories. They're not like anything new. So, and that's the thing. Like, and I can say that for the Iron Grenadier too. Like, why is that figure armed with weapons that we've seen before? No, Destro would be arming his guys with something unique
and better.
But hey,
he'd always have the upper hand.
But hey, what does the Joe Trivia Noah have to say about these things? It doesn't matter. When does law count?
Well, it just doesn't matter because it's just going to come down to the money versus care factor thing, right?
Yeah, mate. Doesn't matter to the higher ups at Hasbro, mate. That's what it boils down to.
If you don't like it, don't buy it. Is the general advice.
Correct.
All right, retro cards. On the stream, they come out with Stalker first, and their statement was, well, there are two statements. Where the retro Stalker is different from the other Stalker. Thank you very much. That's an awesome statement. And they wanted it to be more impactful. Okay.
Well, it didn't impact me that much. God, I sound like the biggest buzzkill right now. I love Stalker. Been a big fan of the character for the longest time. I will not buy this. The face sculpt is pretty much the same as the classified one, where he was aged up. Now, if you're going to do a retro Stalker like they did with the retro Duke, wouldn't you age it down and make it look younger? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
He looks like a granddad in that photo.
But again, fucking reuse. That whole thing. Pass. That thing is going to warm pegs, Lenny. That's going to be like a Lando Calrissian Black Series figure. You watch.
Well, it won't warm pegs in Australia because, we don't get them on pegs here.
No. But you'll see it. You'll see it. Mark this down. Come back to me. Yeah. And this is a slap in the face, and I'd rather not even talk about it. So on to the next one.
I don't have any connection to anything. Well, I don't have a connection to this figure. I was about to say anything before V2 Stalker. So, V1 Stalker, I don't feel a connection. I'm not going to even bother about looking at this unless it's just to open it up and show the people.
I can remember when I got my V1 Stalker at a trash and treasure market, and it was $2, and it was mint on card, and I got that with a bunch of others. I've told you this story before, and freaking love that figure because by that stage I was well invested in the comic book storyline and the toys, and V1 Stalker was just non-existent by that stage. So when I saw that for $2, I was like, bang! So I love it. I love the Ranger aspect. It's sick, but I'm going to be straight up and down right here. The only way I'll buy that is if I know that I can review it and review it first. And I don't make up no apologies for that. That's it. That's the only reason. That is the only reason I want that. That's it.
I actually found, listening to the fan stream, and Lenny was highly praising Emily for coming up with the retro line.
I missed that. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And all I could think was, really? So you're saying someone that has openly declared that they're not totally invested in G.I. Joe, didn't grow up with them, anything like that. They are the first person to think of releasing retro figures exactly how they were? Nah.
That's odd. Yeah, that's odd.
Bullshit.
Well, when you think about the fact that they've done retro Joes before, in the past, not in the classified line, but in the past, with those 4 inches and whatnot, doesn't make any sense, that comment. And the demand was there. The fan demand was there, which made them change course. When people were pissing and moaning about the first few figures in the first initial wave or so, people wanted the original look. So, again, I don't think she came up with some massive brainstorm here.
But that's the way it sounded.
Yeah,
all it made me think was maybe Emily doesn't have the popularity with the public that she or Hasbro needs her to have. So Hasbro is now officially coming out and saying that Emily come up with the line that everyone's loving. That's all I could think.
That's questionable. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next one.
Cobra Trooper. So the statement was, it's a good utilization of molds with a good backstory behind it. Sorry, I muffed a bit of the statement there, but that was the general intent of the statement. Old school nostalgia with the blast behind it. So this actually confused me when they said that, because all of them have the blast behind it. So
hang on a second. Oh, look at that. It's got some blast behind it. Lo and behold.
Lenny here with his hands out was he kept on pointing to the fact that this has got the blast behind it. It's got the blast behind it. It's making it pop because it's got the blast behind it. Stop it, bro. If you don't have the blast behind it, stop making G.I. Joe.
Well, don't call it a retro line, then that would just be silly. Retro card, I should say. But as for this figure, Lenny, I don't want it once again. I don't have a need for it. I've got probably 6 or 7 of the Cobra infantry troopers that came out. And that's all I want and need. I don't desire to have any more of these. And, these obviously look a little different. The color deco's a lighter blue. I think they made mention of that.
They talked about how I couldn't hone down on the word they were using. I rewinded a couple of times. It sounded like they were saying that they use different inkjets each time so that they can do different ones next time. and then this one is a more of a classic look.
Okay. Yeah.
Why are you telling me it's a classic look? This is a retro line, bro. Once again, if it's not done like the old stuff, stop making G.I. Joes.
And, you know, again, reuse. That's not a Dragunov, that rifle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That pistol is a modern day pistol, the one with the suppressor.
Yeah.
That is not a retro weapon. And the blaster is something that, you know, is inspired by the animated series. And you know what? Cool. That makes sense. People love that shit. Give it to them. But again, it is reuse. I will just point that out once again.
Yeah.
But, and, you know, for the people who did miss out on this figure back in the day, I'm happy for you to get this and enjoy it. Like, fucking go nuts. Buy 20 of them. Buy 100. Buy 10. Whatever. Like, you know, not everyone was collecting from the start. And that's fair too.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to give them props for the fact that they finally re-released this figure and modified it to give it a more retro look. But for me personally, it does nothing.
This for me would be something I would be happy to purchase and review and, you know, open up and just take a look at. I don't think it's a bad figure.
No,
but I don't have the emotional connection to this stuff in the vintage line.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah. See, again, I had one of these. The same when I got that $2 stalker, I got a $2 one of these and a $2 one of the officer. So again, you know, I had them as a kid, and you know, like you just said, if the opportunity presented itself, I'd buy one to review it and compare it to the other infantry troop, and that's it. And then I'd be like, handball it to someone else. I just don't. I don't have a desire to have it or multiple of them, but to the other people who do, fucking go nuts.
Go nuts.
Get stuck into it.
All right, next, Coco. So the quote that they gave for this was that the metal face is the best part of this.
The vac metal, yep.
So they said some materials can't get vac metalled. This material got metalled. They noted that it had longer gloves than the originals. The color wave is from the cartoon, and the pre-orders go on at June 11.
Yep, I'm still here, Lenny. I'm coming back now. Oh, look, you know, I like vac metal on figures. I really do. You know what else I like? I like it when HasLab Cobra Commanders that come with a Mickey Mouse logo don't get vac metals. I love that. And, you know, I love the fact that he doesn't have the C4 on here like they've done with that retro figure. Cool. So they could have really made this a special figure for the release of the HasLab. Maybe they didn't have the knowledge at that point or the know-how to vac metal one of these figures, which would be a shock if they didn't. But, yeah. Now we've got this, no vac metal. And now you got a retro figure with vac metal.
That was something I noticed in the comments when they were showing this. So I'm pretty sure someone actually said, well, I guess the exorbitant prices of the HasLab Coco are going to drop dramatically or something to that effect.
Look, there's still only, 20-odd thousand of those out there. So I think it'll hold its value. But it's like they could have made that figure even more special, but instead they go and give the retro release vac metal.
Yeah.
And, you know, on one hand, it's great. Don't get me wrong, because I think it looks dynamic and it's very cool. Like, that is his look. Nice. Like, you know, it's the fact that they've finally been able to do vac metal in a line is you know, is a hope that they can do other things with it. awesome. Vipers, Destro, so on and so forth. Maybe not Destro. I don't know if they can do it, but yeah. Again, I don't need that figure. I don't want that figure because I just got that one.
Yeah.
And that's as retro as that is, except it just doesn't have. It just has a different logo and a couple of different paint decos and a face. You know what I mean? It's like, but again, Lenny, rinse, repeat. If I can get it to review it, I'll review it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I'll do a head swap between the two. if you can.
If you're watching this and you think it's like. I think it's shit that we may not like figures, but we're saying we may still buy it to review it. That's also what we like doing. We like reviewing the figures.
Exactly.
So
exactly. You know, and people also, if they watch this, it's not about being a hater or being like a, you know, just shitting on things or being a whiny person about it. It's about constructive criticism, and it's about having a level of expectation and marrying things up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna refute things that myself or Lenny say, please make sure that you're coming from a place where you don't have your hackles up and you're like not in defensive mode. All right. And at the same time, come from an informed place. And at the same time, try and come from an objective view as well. You know what I mean? Because like that's what this is about. It's not about, oh, I don't like Hasbro. Oh, they don't make 4-inch figures. Or, oh, this figure, it's not right. He's missing the... No, it's not about that. It's about things can be one way, and they can also be another way at the same time.
Yeah.
That's it. Reuse, repaints, you have to expect them to be a thing. But over reuse shouldn't be a norm. And a way of looking at that is we never saw renders for these figures. Why? Because people would be saying what they have been saying, like what I am saying in this last hour. Because, and then what would happen? The pre-orders would come out and people would just be like, I was going to keep my money in my pocket. Why should I buy that? So think about it. You know what I mean? Crunch the numbers, work the angles. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Moving on. Mad Marauders. This guy, Sergeant Slaughter. Mr. Remus.
Yep.
I wasn't even looking at classifieds when the first version of this come out. And it is something that I think I would like to go back and purchase.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I'd rather have that first version over this version.
Yeah, I recommend it. Yep.
So the things they talked about with this was that the minifigure, only seen, no, there he is.
Yeah.
They said the minifigure on the back of it has a file card and also has a flag point.
Hey, big tick for both of those. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now the duffel bag, which from seeing chat around the place, that seems to be the thing that's exciting everyone the most about this figure. In the positive way, because obviously, like I saw some comments of the fan stream and people were like, why is it an M16? Why is it an 8? I don't know, man. Like maybe you just bashed the shit out of someone and took it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Like get off your horse. So in the positive way, people are super excited about this duffel bag. And there were people in the stream saying it's not an itty-ditty bag, which Lenny was just repeating over and over.
No, he was jazzed about that, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, look, it's just names people give to it. We all know what it is. It's everything's okay. Everything's okay.
Exactly.
But from the positive side of this bag, and I can't believe I'm semi-excited about this bag.
You get excited about that, Lenny? You get excited about bags, mate?
Oh yeah, it's an itty ditty bag.
Get on the bag, Lenny.
It's got the strap. It's also got a side handle, and I think the sweetest thing of all, yes, it has got USA printed on it. It's got a little mini drawstring. Which,
yeah, it's cool.
Jesus, well done on that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool accessory. I've mentioned it before on your weekly show, Lenny. Cloth goods all the way. I'm a rap for them. They're dope. I think we're going to see this again. I think we'll see this with one of the 6-year figures, like a Marine or something like that. It just screams retro. You know what I mean? It's cool for this figure. He can carry his weights and all the extra doodads in there. I think it's something else worth mentioning is you get a saluting hand with this figure, which is a nice touch as well. The Marauders colors work on this figure. They just pop. And, Sarge is such a larger-than-life kind of ostentatious sort of character that it works for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have zero attachment to the Marauders as a sub team. They don't do much for me at all. No. I don't have the barbecue figure, and I don't want any of these. But I can see why people would buy this, and I'd love to review it because I just think it'd be cool to play around with it and have a look at the bag in hand, and kit him out with the weights and stuff like that, and pair him up, against Big Boa or something like that. It'd be cool. And
someone did say in the chat, why doesn't all of the classified figures come with their own duffel bag?
Cost. It'd be cost. Yeah.
But what a fantastic idea, right? So each classified figure's getting multiple hands, multiple heads, equipment. Why wouldn't you give them all their own little bag so that they can put all their little shit in it and carry it?
I guess, because they try and design the figures where they can carry everything existingly in pockets or pouches, I should say, holsters, backpacks and stuff like that. So cloth goods do bump the price up of the thing, hence why this is a deluxe figure as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, some great photos there from Shooting the Galaxy. Yeah, it's a cool set. It's a cool set.
That's probably the best one. Smacking that Stinger driver over the head with the minifig.
And it's reuse again off the charts, but at the same time, they're giving the weights. That makes sense, and they've given him something new. The bag is new, like that. Cool. And sure, they could have switched out the AK for a different weapon. Maybe they should have. But at the same time, whatevs.
Yeah. It is all this baseline of what really upsets you in life, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay, if you're just having that one-off spurt that, I don't know, this should be $70 instead of $80. I can't believe it. Or something just stupid, like you got to just move on with life.
Yeah. And the gripe about that AK, it was the same gripe that was happening when they released the first figure and he came with the AK. So move on.
Yeah.
And you know what? Take the fucking AK and swap it out for your retro snow serpent.
Or go to Gridiron and buy whatever you like.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Because here's the thing, right? Like,
Well, that's what I did.
Someone could easily sit there and say, well, this figure should come with a, but it's not, bro. It's not. The last one didn't, and this one's not, and the next one probably won't. So just go to Gridiron and buy an M16.
Or go to Gridiron and buy an M60 like he had in the comics at one point, you know, and have him rocking that. Like,
do whatever you want.
See, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
But don't get yourselves worked up over what weapon he comes with.
I'm glad I didn't see any of that, but it doesn't surprise me once again.
All right, Low Light and Spirit 2-pack. Like the Sergeant Slaughter, these are, I didn't hear him say it initially, but they said, like Low Light and Spirit, Sergeant Slaughter is an Amazon exclusive. Available for pre-order on the 18th of June.
Okay. Wonder if Amazon will push it back like they do with everything else of lately.
Yeah. So they mentioned that Spirit has a new eagle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantasy type eagle, like a golden eagle, but darker, so it's more intense.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with extra wings.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I couldn't, I know you'll be able to tell me this because you're the Joe knower, but why does he come with 2 knives?
I guess because maybe he had 2 sculpted on the V1 figure. I've never had that figure, so I'm not too sure.
I think I heard them say they referred to this one on his chest as his Charlie knife.
Yeah, he's Iron Knife Charlie. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at find where he is in my cabinet, the 4-inch figure, but I can't see him. Oh, there he is. He's right at the front. Yeah, he's got 2 knives. Yeah,
a bit odd. He's got one on his chest and then one immediately below on his left waist.
Yeah, he's got that on the 4-inch figure too. Yeah. I guess being Native American, you know, and their propensity for edged weapons is a thing, you know.
Okay.
It's a nod to their heritage in that sense. Yeah.
Yep. I thought the Spirit looks really good. Quite like it.
The Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah. It's not too overdone with the blue, which I think is what sells it a bit better, I think. Yeah.
They actually made mention of that headband on the fan screen.
Yeah. I was about to say
it was given a tone that was likened to Cherokee, I think.
Something like that, yeah. Or Navajo, maybe. I think it might have been Navajo. Yeah, maybe.
If you're watching this and you're American, understand, please, that we're Australian and we know bugger all about Native American Indian stuff. So
I know a smidge. That's about it. But the headband looks good.
Yeah, it all looks good. This is a good figure, and I think actually, if you got rid of the blue on the boots, this is a nice figure. You don't actually need to link him to the Marauders. It's just a good figure.
Yeah, it's got some standalone aspects for sure.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you, Lenny. What do you think of the low light?
I don't really like it, and that is why I wouldn't buy this pack.
You'd be passing on this one?
Yeah, I'd pass on this.
Yeah.
Like, his weapon is average. I hate the night vision goggle component.
Nods,
the colors are just poo. The goggles I just don't like. I know they're the originals, but whatevs. I did have a question on this, though, on this figure. When and you can't actually see it here, but when you watch that fan stream and they have the render, twirling around.
Yep.
They have 2 L torches sitting above his backpack.
Yep. Yep.
So
like
why would a sniper have 2 L torches facing forwards, bro?
that's the tunnel rat backpack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why would a sniper have that?
I don't know. It makes no sense. You're
Not at
drawing.
all.
You're going to be drawing attention to your position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And considering his name is Low Light, why does he need extra lights when he's got the nods? He's got like the optical device, and he's got his own goggles anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Thrown in for good measure, mate. Just thrown in for good measure.
Can you just maybe you can sort of see it there?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
A bit there and a bit there. What? Yeah. All right. We'll leave that alone. I think that
leave
speaks
it alone,
for
mate.
itself.
Yeah,
that's not lazy. That's just dumb shit. And it's literally like, with that night vision, because the classified tunnel rat doesn't come with 2 L torches on his backpack, does he?
Yeah, he does. And he comes with those night vision goggles as well.
So what, they've just given him like a tunnel rat loadout for some reason?
Essentially, yeah.
Stop it.
But you know what, Lenny? You know what would fix that figure? And I dare say we'll see it. He's a gridiron loadout.
I said it in our video, mate. Like, I am not that into classifieds, and I don't buy gridiron. I don't buy anyone's extra material, so it's not just not buying gridiron. But what they are doing for the toy community is amazing. Like, they're giving options, and they're freakish good options. Like, I think I mentioned in the video, like, I do 3D creation of things, and I print my own stuff. And like, when I look at their stuff, that's far beyond, like, that's generations above what I can do. So it's amazing stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
This guy, let all the Aarons rejoice.
It's a shame he's not here. He could just pop in for 5 minutes on his lunch break just to, chime in on this. I feel like, you know what? I feel like, Lenny, honestly, I feel like we should not even discuss this one, and we should bring it up next week on the show and get his thoughts.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah,
I'm happy to do it. I'll just read what they said on the thing, which their quote was, "It's pretty sweet." They said that it's an updated JAMA backpack, which is made within a backpack.
So they're saying, wait, sorry to cut you off, Lenny. Just wanted to touch on something there. You're saying that Dialtone is a sweet, sweet boy?
Well, he could be. It comes with a cell phone that goes into his holster, but it also goes into the weapon as well. And as you can see, you've got that hook up there.
Yep.
And the beret comes off as well. So, yeah, we can leave that for Tuesday night.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Everything is new on this figure. Everything is new on this figure. That's it. Moving right along.
Yep. All good. Saw Viper. So their quote with this was that it's intense looking, armored up, and they have beefed him up. It comes with a removable helmet. There's a chainsaw now fitted to the weapon, and he's due in 2025.
Yep. Digging it. He's a big, beefy boy. I think Lenny even called him that on the stream, and I thought that was very apt.
It's a bit thinner than Storm Shadow, though, right?
Removable helmet. It'll be interesting to see if they've just done like a balaclava head underneath. I dare say they probably will, because he's an army builder as well as being renowned as there was one Saw Viper who was a nasty pasty. The weapon with the saw, look, if that saw is detachable, I'd be probably more inclined to just flick that into the accessory bag. The backpack and what looks like a feed of like it's like a bullet feed on the side there, that big strap thing, or is that like a power source or something? I don't know. I feel like there's more to be fleshed out with this figure, and I think it'll be tip top when it does come to fruition. And you know what? Again, everything is new there.
I can't tell if they've done the chainsaw as a word joke or not.
Yeah, of course. That's in just playing around with things. But yeah, it doesn't move the needle much for me. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. They're giving him something a bit different. Props for giving him something a bit different. But yeah, this will be a good figure. I think the finished product will definitely deliver the goods. And I just love the fact that everything's new. Everything's new.
I'm a bit confused about his body armor. Like, it looks like armor that Tripwire should be wearing. Like bomb disposal.
You know what, Lenny? You might be onto something there. That could be reuse. I reckon you might be onto something. I didn't notice that until.
Why would a heavy machinery or heavy machine gun expert have neck armor?
I guess just for face, like more face and head protection. But yeah, I think you might be onto something, which would mean that if that is reuse, then it is removable. That'll be a removable component.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have my tripwire set up properly to be able to pull that out to have a look, but it makes sense, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I'm saying everything is new, I'm talking about the accessories, guys, not honing in on the figure per se. I'm talking about the accessories. So, yeah, interesting.
What do you reckon this is on the side? A sidearm?
I dare say it would have to be. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
I don't mind the OG Saw Viper.
Yeah. The weapon was obviously ridiculously upscaled, and that was not a purposeful thing. That was a mistake made when they sent the two up over during the design process and the manufacturers.
Look at the gun he's using in the artwork, though. It's like a video camera, like a VCR camera.
Yeah, they botched it, mate. They botched it. That would have cost them. That would have cost them a fair bit, I dare say, when they did that mistake. The weapon was bigger than the figure. Yeah, no, the render's cool. I don't really want to touch too much on the Stinger, man. I've got to dart off because I've got a dog to walk. But if we can maybe just gloss over this one quickly.
Let me just read quickly what they said. Where are you, buddy? Color wave and cool parts were mentioned. You can swap parts with the vamp. They've given louvers on the side with the gull-wing doors.
Mm-hmm.
They've put Cobra Red paint on the inside. There's blacked out window tinting on the front windscreen.
Yeah.
There's a new intake on the bonnet, which is that thing.
Yep.
The shovel comes off.
Yep.
This is the point where they mention that new material is being used so the weapons aren't so flexible.
Yep.
The tow cable is real, so that has actual material on it. The Stinger driver is in the standard grey colours. 24 and 25 figures will have different ball joints.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Lots of blast effects with this. And old school logos and colours to parts like wheels. And of note, a bit that cracked me up and I quite liked it was they've can't see it. Yeah, there it is. The word turbo. Stick it on the back of the vehicle. Thought that was just cool. Good job.
Was that on the original? It must have been.
I don't think I've actually ever seen the original, but it's a cool part. So that's all that were on the Toy Habits website. I just want to mention the other things that were brought up. They talked about the Skybound Compendium. And for that, they showed a video that had Larry Harmer. Larry Harmer was talking about it in a video. He mentioned that the compendium was funded in 6 minutes. And probably the thing of note there was that you obviously get to pick your side. So you get to pick Cobra or Joe. But what I didn't know was, depending on what side you pick, you get access to exclusive trading cards.
Oh, that got you jazzed, didn't it, Lenny?
It did. A bit extra. It actually showed the card too. And I'll tell you what, just seeing that Baroness card, I was like, whoa, that's not bad. I like that. And he mentioned that there was also the opportunity to get hand-signed plates from him, from Larry Harmer. So that was cool.
Yeah, there's a new stretch goal, I think, coming up with, because the first stretch goal where the signed plates went like wildfire. They sold out. So the next stretch goal, I don't know if it's been reached yet or not, but there's more signed plates, another 500, I think it might be, or 300, something like that. So, yeah. I have them back. Yeah.
It's good.
Skybound kicking goals, mate. Absolutely killing it. Killing it.
And another thing that was mentioned was the Wraith of Cobra video game, which you can get a demo now on Steam if you want to give it a go. They mentioned that it currently has 6 characters based on the original OG figures. And I ran out of time, but I think they were saying that they scanned in the original figures, actual physical figures, to make these computer rendered figures.
Right. Okay.
Cool. Each figure has unique attacks. You can play the game in single and co-op. You can use a mixer, which can mix attack and defense. The currency in the game is floppy disks.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Vehicles feature in the game. So in the example, they had trouble bubbles and a claw, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Ferret.
Yeah, Ferret. They had Ferret as well. Very interestingly, they mentioned that the composer for this game is the one from the 1992 arcade game.
That's cool. Yeah,
it was cool. And they talked about one other thing, which was a series of books. They're called Creating G.I. Joe.
Absolutely. So, Dan Klingensmith.
If you're like me and you just don't see this shit normally, either go and check this video, the Fanstream video out. It's the very last thing they talked about, or just Google Creating G.I. Joe. Of note, these guys, so Lenny and the boys, when they were talking about this, they said that they sometimes pull these books out to remember, to get a bit of
reference point.
Yeah, reference point to making these newer figures, which was amazing to hear.
Look, you're gonna like this one. Look at this one. This is original art. These things are a gold mine, guys. Dan Klingensmith has put so much work and time and energy and effort into these volumes. I've got the first 6 volumes. I think the Kickstarter he's done is for the final 2 volumes. I think it might be 12 and 13 or 13 and 14.
I think they mentioned maybe 14 and 15 or 13 and 14. Yeah.
It's funnily enough, I messaged Dan the other day because I was talking to him about something, and I said to him, I've got to get the rest of the books. And they aren't cheap, but they are all fully colored. Like I said, they're a gold mine of information. If you love the vintage line, if you love G.I. Joe, back these, go to his website. you will not be disappointed. They are worth every damn cent. There you go. So
that's it. That's our recap of the YOJOE June fan stream from this morning. If you get a chance, go and watch the video, or you've seen our video now, so you know what got covered. Let us know in the comments if we've gotten anything wrong, or you disagree with anything, or just let us know what your favorite component of the show was.
Yep.
Adam, what's coming out from you next?
Nothing at the moment. I've been a bit busy with work this week, and I'm still working on my Japan video. So that's what I'm just thinking about now, and sorting that out. And yeah, I haven't got anything else in the pipeline right this minute. But yeah, watch this space.
If you haven't seen Adam's recent reviews of the Snow Serpent, Jinx, figures that were recently released, go and check them out on YouTube. Apart from that, I'll be dropping another video tomorrow on just some weird toys that I found recently. So yeah, thanks very much for joining. If you've stayed to this point, good on you. Love you. We'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.